This week's lab is going to talk about some weather issues. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the USDA hardiness zones, but we're going to spend a good portion of our time on growing degree days because it's a very powerful tool that you can utilize to help you predict when plants and or insects are going to be active. So let's talk a little bit about hardiness. Plants can't survive if the temperature gets too cold. Here in the north, we worry about how cold our winters get. All right, I'm going to take you to this map in just a second. This map is interactive, so when you click the link, you can click on different states to see what zone they're in. But I want you to notice the following. It only gives the average minimum winter temperature, nothing else. It has nothing to do with heat or water or soil type or any other thing that plants need to survive. Only average minimum winter temperature. Also not absolute minimum winter temperature. Some obvious things: as the numbers get higher, the winters get warmer. So zone 7 is warmer than zone 5. Zone 11 is warmer than zone 9. And as you go further south, the winters obviously get warmer, which is kind of, duh. So if you click the link, it'll take you to the USDA plant hardiness zone map. And so you can see across the country how we go from the purple at the top all the way to the yellows and the oranges and the bright oranges and even the reds. If you go into Puerto Rico, you can see the different zones. It's a little hard to see over on the right-hand side with the different columns, but it gives you the temperature range for the average winter. You can either type in your zip code or you can simply click on the state that you're looking for. So here we've got Ohio, and you can see that Ohio, scroll down a little bit, is pretty much wherever there's blue, it's zone 5, which averages from minus 15 to minus 10. Zone 6A is a darker green, and that's minus 10 to minus 5, and that is where we are here in Wayne County, right there by that big, to the right of that big blue blotch. And then down further south is 6B, and that's minus 5 to 0. Now that is the average minimum winter temperatures for those areas. Notice up at the lake, right around the lake, it's a little bit warmer too. Anywhere you've got a large body of water is going to be a little bit warmer in those areas. Now, far more important are growing degree days. What are growing degree days? They are a measurement of how much weather, temperature-wise, is contributing to growth of insects and plants or flowering or fruit development. So we can use them to predict insect emergence. We can use them to time fertilizer and weed control for our turf. We can use them to predict when a plant will flower or fruit, which means we can time our pesticide and our chemical applications to the point when the plant actively needs it. We're going to assume a couple of things with this. We're going to assume that plants only grow above a certain temperature, and we average that temperature at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and they are only going to grow below a certain temperature, which is roughly 85, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, which, if you remember anything about plant biology, for those of you who've had a botany course, photosynthesis stops roughly 85, 86 degrees for most plants. If it gets colder and warmer than that, plants don't grow well or well enough for it really to contribute to their overall growth. So technically, it's a little bit different for each plant, but we want to use 50 and 86 kind of as close enough. Otherwise, the calculations become a little bit messier. So how do you calculate this? You take your high temperature plus your low temperature for the day and you divide that by 2. That gives you your average temperature for that particular day, and you subtract 50. Why 50? Well, 50 because that's the lowest temperature that we use. That's that average minimum temperature that we utilize. All right, so if we take a look at that calculation, if your high is 84, your low is 60, you divide that by 2 and you subtract 50, then you get 22 growing degree days. It doesn't have to do with the number of physical days. It is just a unit of measurement of the amount of relative time that contributes to plant growth. So, directions for your lab. You're going to go to that USDA hardiness zone map and answer your first few questions. You click the link here. You can take that go to that map. You can either use the provided handout in lab, or you can download the handout to your iPad and upload it back into Carmen. And once you're done, you're free to go. So for the second part, we're going to go to the OARDC weather station. We're going to scroll down till you get to what you see over there in that picture where it says past weather information. This will take a moment to load. Then you're going to hit download spreadsheet and download this into Excel. So you'll need to make sure that you have your Office 365 account activated. So we go to the OARDC weather station. This happens to be the Worcester station. The university has them all over the state. And we are going to enter. So I want you to load January 1st from 2019 to December 31st, 2019, and then hit Get Data. Again, this is going to take a moment to load, so you do have to have a little bit of patience. All right, now here we have the entire year. You will see it is a very, very large spreadsheet. A good portion of this spreadsheet you're not going to need, so don't be intimidated by the size of this spreadsheet. What I want you to do is click the big red button that says Download Spreadsheet. You're going to download the spreadsheet. It's going to take a moment. You hit download. And then you'll see in the upper right hand corner there's a little circle with an arrow right by the refresh button. If you click that, you can hit download the weather data and open it up into Excel. Now, a couple of tricks about Excel. You're only going to need a few of these cells. You're going to need the date, precipitation, the maximum air temperature, the minimum air temperature, and your growing degree days, which is Q. So in the directions, you'll notice that you only need a few of these. If you want to take the time and delete the rest of them, you can, but you don't need to. Let me also show you a trick about Excel. If you click on an individual cell and then take this little green button and start pulling it down, so start pulling it down until we get some numbers there. You'll notice in the lower right hand corner, it actually sums things for you. So when I ask you for something like what are the total number of growing degree days from January 1st to I don't know, June 1st or something like that, you're going to go all the way down till you see June 1st and get Excel to do the adding for you. Otherwise, you have to add all the individual columns, and that's just silly. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, if you're doing this lab virtually, do not hesitate to text me or call me or email me so I can help you out with the directions.